House fire. Bad one. At least 4 Vicks. Get out there and find out what you can. The address is 650 North Hobart.
Isn't that the cop? Who caught the guy who was pretending to be dead?
I'm telling you, it'll never stick and you'll get roasted.
Mouthpiece got stripped off me at the grand jury. Case got thrown out. Now the DA wants my head.
About Rancho Escondido. Are we having a conversation, Biggs? Okay, fuck it. Get out. I'm teasing you. Tell me about it. The new housing development's a couple of weeks from completion. Burned to the ground last night. You guys are ready to move in this weekend. The developer's gonna have some very angry customers.
Any unit in the vicinity is citizen report support 59 there now at 38 North Catalina. Unit handle code 2 identified.
Car 11K responding.
11K Roger, 459 there now at 38 North Catalina Street, code
2. Cops! Shit!
Stop! LAPD!
Stay on his ass, Cole. Don't lose him. Smash the son of a bitch's rear wheels. I'll go for the tires. That ought to slow the son of a bitch down. Lay into his wheel well. Come on. I can't get a target that isn't there, Phelps.
Hands behind your head.
Turn back. We're going the wrong way.
Can you drive to this one?
You guys better see this. I hope you have strong stomachs. Do you have a name? Morelli, Mike. We recovered a picture of the family. Okay. Anything else? Be honest, I just got here, Phelps. Best you talk to Lynch. He's the expert.
Doesn't make any sense. Why aren't they scattered around like the rest of the debris?
I think they've been moved.
Ooh,
I think someone moved them after the explosion and before the fire.
can you explain that, please?
I'm almost positive the cause of death is asphyxiation due to gas inhalation. Look at the parts of their bodies that aren't scorched. The coloring around the fingertips is typical.
They wouldn't have felt a thing.
I think the fire damage is post-mortem. I think someone moved them into this room after the explosion.
It still doesn't make any sense. Why would you run into a burning building?
What are they doing?
Prayer effect is from the fire. Muscles and tendons contract.
Find anything interesting?
You ever think about how many people have died in this world? And how big heaven would have to be to accommodate them bigs?
No, I have not. Show some respect.
It's our boy. I think he watches the fires. I think the Sawyer fire went wrong.
So what about the guy we have in jail, Phelps?
We got the wrong guy.
That doesn't explain why he ran into a burning building. What would make anyone do that?
Guilt.
For the fires?
For his mistake. This guy wants to burn houses, not families. He expects the houses to be empty. He's trying to redeem himself. Probably thought they'd be happier together.
You are one very disturbed individual, Phelps. I know you had it rough lately, but you should start to compartmentalize your thoughts.
He could be right. Can you come up with an alternative explanation?
I'm sure it's the same guy.
Are you telling me that some son of a bitch murdered these people, the whole family, and arranged them here like Cupid dolls?
Might fit, Cole, but I don't think we could ever prove it. There's very little evidence.
Evidence?
Albert, check out the hot water system. Make sure we're dealing with the same MO.
Sure, Phelps. I'll get back to you.
Leave the rest to us, Cole. You better find out what's eating Biggs.
This doesn't pertain to the case.
Really?
So something finally got to you.
You want my help, pretty boy? You got it. You keep riding me and you won't be pretty much longer.
We can get this guy, Herschel.
You think you've seen everything, Phelps? I was with the 2nd Marines at Bella Wood. The things that went on in that farmhouse. My own guys on fire, screaming for a way out. You're not gonna get this guy. There's gonna be no photos and no citations. We're gonna kill this miserable fuck. End of story. You getting this?
You remember the list from the travel agent?
Sure.
The Morellis were winners too. Their name was on that list.
Christ. We should take a look around, work the neighbors, see what they know. I'll go across the street.
Okay, I'll try this side.
I haven't done this for years.
You don't look like a fireman, son.
I swear, this town's going straight to hell. Hey, I think I see a body.
How did you get my number, Ira? At first, I didn't understand you. But now I do. I'd like you to come back to the clinic. I'm helping other people now, Doctor.
I think you are confused. You haven't been to the clinic for weeks.
I'm not confused anymore, Doctor. I'm helping people be together.
This world is only temporary. We'll all be happier in heaven.
Why don't you tell me where you are and I can come to you? I think the fires should end now. They have served their purpose. Oh, the fires are only beginning, Doctor. After the fires, everything will be beautiful and clean.
Everything will be erased. The world will be fresh and new.
I can see my purpose now, Doctor. And you helped me to find it.
Rehab is
Looks like the same model. This is the flash point. The heater detonated with enough force to expose the foundations.
I swear, this town is going straight to hell. Keep talking. Someday you'll say something intelligent.
Whoever he was wearing boondockers. I would know that imprint anywhere.
LAPD. Can you tell me anything about the fire next door?
Terrible luck. Imagine after having won that weekend away.
What's your name, sir?
Foreman. Dudley Foreman.
Did you see or hear anything that might have...
Look, we were asleep when we heard the explosion.
You didn't like Morelli, did you?
Some neighbors you get along with, some you don't. Guess they should have sold up.
What do you mean?
They're knocking down all these old houses and building a new subdivision for GIs. Morelli was being difficult.
Did you see anyone hanging around the Morelli's home prior to the explosion?
Nope. Can't say as I was looking out, though.
I think you're covering for someone, Foreman. Who is it?
And I think you are off your rocker. How can you make an accusation like that? What proof have you got?
Sorry. My mistake. You sure, Mr. Foreman? There are signs of someone hanging around over there by the fence.
Hey, now that you come to think of it, there was a guy. Kind of tall. Skinny, though.
Anything else?
Orange lumber jacket, beat-up hat, and no hair. I thought he was the pest exterminator guy who was working around here the last few days. But that guy had hair.
You said someone is knocking these houses down?
Elysian Fields. You must know them. Their billboards, that Monroe character beaming down at you. We've had an offer for the house.
Did the Morellis want to sell?
I don't know.
Whatever you thought of Morelli, his whole family is dead. They couldn't have all deserved that. I want you to help me here, Foreman.
Morelli was pig-headed. He built the house himself. He didn't want to sell. Stubborn fool was ruining it for all of us.
You said the Morellis had won a weekend away to Catalina Island?
Yeah, that's right. First thing I thought after the explosion was, thank goodness they was away. But then I find out they were still in there.
Who was running the competition?
What? I don't know.
You didn't enter yourself?
I'd already agreed to sell. The competition was an incentive for those who were still thinking about it.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Foreman.
Sure. Hey, if you're interested, I have one of those competition flyers in the kitchen. I could get it for you if you like.
That would be great.
Any luck, Cole?
A couple of things. What did you pick up?
Folded piece of paper. Looks complicated.
Japanese call it origami. Can I take a look?
Sure.
Paper crane.
There's a legend about them. You fold 1,000 of these and you get a wish.
Hey, don't break it.
I'm not. I'm unfolding it. It looks like a waybill or a flyer.
For what?
For Elysian Fields developments.
Oh, I see you already have one.
When did the flyer arrive in your mailbox?
They've been arriving for weeks. This one was in the mailbox when I got home from work yesterday afternoon.
I swear, this town is going straight to hell.
Friends,
I need an address for a property developer. Elysian Fields Developments.
One moment, Detective. The address is 748 North Oxford Avenue, Wilshire. Anything else?
Messages, please.
You have a message. Contact Captain McKelty immediately.
Thanks. Can you put me through, operator?
Of course. Here you are.
Commander?
Leads on the Morelli fire.
We're about to go and visit Elysian Fields Developments.
You're about to do what? Leland Monroe? He's a personal friend of the mayor and the chief. Are you out of your mind? I'm warning you, Phelps.
Commander, we have a line of inquiry.
You have something, you bring it to me. You're hanging by a thread, Phelps. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Have a report on my desk today.
Kelty has warned us off over Elysian.
Makes sense. It's at that end. We should check out Rancho Escondido.
You know the place?
Sure. Corner of Fountain and Wilton. Let's go.
Greeting you from Los Angeles, California. KGI Radio, 760.
Go left. Can you go right at the next corner? Dead on. You don't need to turn here. Next left. At the next turn, take a right. Dead on. Respect for property, Cole.
You know, there are times when you really miss a nightstick. There's more religion in the end of a nightstick than in 100 cathedrals.
I'm not gonna tell you again, sir.
Don't tell me when and how I can come and go on my own property.
It is not
This is
safe,
America, dickhead.
Sir. Now step back, or I'll lock you up for
Smart
a fray.
son of a bitch!
Come on, then! That's done it, Cole. We're gonna have to pacify these poor saps.
I'm gonna paint you black and blue.
Come on, then. You're going down.
Big damage. You've had a bad break, but this isn't the answer.
Good thing you showed up when you did, detectives. Those folks were baying for blood.
Okay, then. Let's see if there's anything left to take a look at.
Mortar is like dust. Is that normal in a fire?
I'd expect some shrinkage in the heat, but it looks like the cement barely adhered to the brick. Doesn't appear to be any wall ties either. This thing looks like it was built on the cheap. If we're paying a visit to Elysian and ruining my career, let's bite the bullet and get on with it.
Siren might make this easier. Left here. Left up ahead. Can you go right at the next corner?
Detectives Phelps and Biggs, LAPD, to see Leland Monroe.
Do you have an appointment?
We're the police, lady. We don't need an appointment.
Can I tell him what it's about?
It's an official investigation.
There are 2 police officers here to see Mr. Monroe.
Send them through.
And that's our cue. Thanks, ma'am.
My father says I'll never be an actress.
May I help you, gentlemen?
I wonder how many more layers we gotta go through to get to this guy.
We would like to speak to Mr. Monroe.
I'm afraid it's impossible. Mr. Monroe's schedule is booked weeks in advance.
Cut to the chase, sister. Is he in?
I'm not at liberty to reveal that, officer.
So he hired you for your intelligence?
I find that offensive.
You have every right to.
This is getting us nowhere, miss.
Casino.
Would you like us to return with a warrant?
That won't be necessary, gentlemen. Come into my office. Like a cigar. Drink, boys.
Sure, I'll have a scotch.
Biggs! We're investigating a series of domestic fires, Mr. Monroe.
It's terrible, boys. How can I help?
Elysian Fields and Suburban Redevelopment Fund flyers keep turning up in the vicinity of the fires.
They're turning up all over town, boys. Can you imagine the current demand for housing?
So that's your explanation, Mr. Monroe? Coincidence?
Explanation? Why, what's to explain? I advertise on radio and billboards for buyers, and I advertise for sellers using waybills.
We found a family burnt out in their home. Another house burned to the ground. Another Elysian Fields flyer. Our information is that they didn't want to sell.
Are you saying that's something to do with me? Is that your point?
Point is, every time we find a family barbecue, we find one of your flyers. Is that good advertising?
What do you know about a competition for families to win free vacations to Catalina Island?
My company runs many promotions. I'm not familiar with that one.
Two families are dead, Mr. Monroe. This isn't a question of criminal liability.
catching pan monsters.
Detectives Phelps and Biggs, LAPD, to see Leland Monroe.
Do you have an appointment?
We're the police, lady. We don't need an appointment.
Can I tell him what it's about?
It's an official investigation.
There are 2 police officers here to see Mr. Monroe.
Send them through.
And that's our cue. Thanks, ma'am.
May I help you, gentlemen?
You like a cigar? Drink, boys.
Sure, I'll have a scotch.
Biggs! We're investigating a series of domestic fires, Mr. Monroe.
It's terrible, boys. How can I help?
Elysian Fields and Suburban Redevelopment Fund flyers keep turning up in the vicinity of the fires.
They're turning up all over town, boys. Can you imagine the current demand for housing?
So that's your explanation, Mr. Monroe? Coincidence?
Explanation? Why, what's to explain? I advertise on radio and billboards for buyers, and I advertise for sellers using waybills.
We found a family burnt out in their home. Another house burned to the ground. Another Elysian Fields flyer. Our information is that they didn't want to sell.
Are you saying that's something to do with me? Is that your point?
Point is, every time we find a family barbecue, we find one of your flyers. Is that good advertising?
What do you know about a competition for families to win free vacations to Catalina Island?
My company runs many promotions. I'm not familiar with that one.
Level with me, Mr. Monroe. You know all about the vacation offers.
You can believe whatever you like, son. You're missing the vital ingredient called proof. Can we speed this up a little? You come in here making stupid, baseless allegations, and you think you can ruin my...
Detectives Phelps and Biggs, LAPD, to see Leland Monroe.
Do you have an appointment?
We're the police, lady. We don't need an appointment.
Can I tell him what it's about?
It's an official investigation.
There are 2 police officers here to see Mr. Monroe.
And that's our cue. Thanks, ma'am.
May I help you, gentlemen?
You like a cigar? Drink, boys.
Sure, I'll have a scotch.
Biggs! We're investigating a series of domestic fires, Mr. Monroe.
It's terrible, boys. How can I help?
Elysian Fields and Suburban Redevelopment Fund flyers keep turning up in the vicinity of the fires.
They're turning up all over town, boys. Can you imagine the current demand for housing?
So that's your explanation, Mr. Monroe? Coincidence?
Explanation? Why, what's to explain? I advertise on radio and billboards for buyers, and I advertise for sellers using waybills.
We found a family burnt out in their home. Another house burned to the ground. Another Elysian Fields flyer. Our information is that they didn't want to sell.
Are you saying that's something to do with me? Is that your point?
Point is, every time we find a family barbecued, we find one of your flyers. Is that good advertising?
What do you know about a competition for families to win free vacations to Catalina Island?
My company runs many promotions. I'm not familiar with that one.
Level with me, Mr. Monroe. You know all about the vacation offers.
You can believe whatever you like, son. You're missing the vital ingredient called proof.
Your face is all over the flyers, Mr. Monroe. You know about the prizes, and you're aware that they get given to holdouts.
My face is the brand. It's on all our advertising. Did you know that the mayor and the chief of police are part of the Suburban Redevelopment Fund? Do you want to accuse them of murder as well?
You've made offers to buy houses in areas where fires have been recorded.
Are you suggesting that I'm burning people out of their homes so that I can sell them new ones?
What happens to your plans if a family like the Morellis refuses to sell?
We work around them. Business finds a way. That's the American way.
Come on, Mr. Monroe. You expect me to believe that you would build a new development with one of those old piles smack bang in the center of it?
Progress is an inexorable process, Detective. Those who choose to stand in defiance are usually confined to the wastebasket of history. To answer your question, yes, we would build around them if we had to. Most people see sense.
What's Elysian Fields' involvement in Rancho Escondido?
One of our latest housing developments. It was due to open on the weekend, or was before the unfortunate conflagration.
It met with building code regulation.
Absolutely. Only the best for our returning heroes.
You're lying, Monroe. There's something out of kilter about that development.
Son, I've had enough of you and your fidgety friend. There's no way in hell you can prove that my materials were inferior.
Чуть-чуть можно поболтать. Говорит, не можем мы доказать, что некачественные стройматериалы были. Ага. Мы только что вот нашли вот это.
I'm no expert, but I think we'll find that the bricks being
Ага,
used on those
попался,
houses are
гаденыш.
undersized and the mortar is faulty.
And there's no wall ties connecting the masonry to the frame.
Every building is built to a budget, boys. Those buildings
Да-да,
were
услышь
inspected
меня.
and fully insured by California Fire and Life.
Мы его вывели на
Investment of
чистую
that
воду все-таки.
magnitude demands it. Do you think that they'd vouch for the buildings without examining them? The arsonists, do you have any suspects?
We aren't at liberty to say.
I didn't think so. The contractors I use for waybills. You suppose it could be any of them? I have a list of their names if it'd be of any help.
That would be very helpful, Mr. Monroe.
Glad to hear it. I'm always happy to help the LAPD. My secretary will provide you with that list.
Конечно.
You know that I'm on the board of the police pension fund.
Glad to be of help,
Он намекнул то, что чтоб на него никаких следов не было. Что он там важный какой-то чин.
What's the story? Any of these names ring a bell?
Имена. Не знаю. Кого он хочет, чтоб я нашел. Мгм. Давай по всем пройдемся.
Herbert Chapman is on this list.
Find the phone. We need to know where we're at with Chapman.
А кто такой Чапман? А, тот, который любит в прошлом деле любил огонь, типа. Мы его взяли же.
My sister's always been lucky.
Your boss is a fine man.
Anyway, that's the cop who caught the guy.
Let me guess. You're lost in my
Hello, national news from American Century Broadcasting.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Can you check whether we are still holding a Herbert Chapman?
Let me find out for you. He was released this morning, Detective. I'm sorry, Detective.
Not your fault. Can you give me a last known address and put out an APB?
Ну, как это вовремя.
I'll get back to you, Detective. APB will go out over KGPL
Новые,
shortly.
новые наводки
Thanks,
на
man.
него пошли, его отпустили.
I love the chase till the minute I win it. A beautiful face till there's love for me in it. Give me your heart and baby I'll bill it. 'Cause I always kill
Фелпс, ты что тут делаешь?
things I love.
Опять пришел к этой тетке, что ли? Любоваться, как
Buy me
она
a drink,
поет.
Cole?
Изменник хренов.
Not even for old time's sake? Not even for that. You're not gonna ask me why I'm here? I wouldn't give you the pleasure. We'll get around to it.
Что, доносчик пришел сюда поиздеваться? Как будто те.
She's in fine voice this evening. I wonder how the commander would feel
Save the
about...
threats for someone who cares about the boy.
You're breaking my heart, Cole. You know how I feel about you.
Знаю прекрасно.
Stay away from Elysian Fields.
I should have known that you were playing errand boy.
You and your doofus partner. You have been warned.
Thanks for your cooperation, officer.
Никто не хочет, чтобы мы туда лезли.
Stay away. You have no idea the type of people that are involved in that
I
company.
have a pretty good idea, Roy. The same kind of people that sent you here.
Your investigation is finished. Homicide will be taking over from here. I've heard we've had a spate of grass fires in the hills that you and that hunchback might be able to handle. Thanks for the drink, Cole.
You get the message about Monroe?
Yeah, Earl delivered it. You?
McKelty. He started making noises about my pension.
Sorry about that, Herschel. I didn't mean to drag you into this.
Save it, Phelps. Monroe's an asswipe. And so was Earl. And so was McKelty when it's all said and done.
KGPL calling car 11K, 11K.
11K, go ahead.
11K, the last known address of suspect Herbert Chapman is 650 North Kingsley Drive in Wilshire.
Roger that, KGPL. 11K en route.
Let's go pick him up.
You fought at Sugarloaf, didn't you?
I did. But I don't like to talk about it.
You come across a guy called Jack Kelso out that way?
You know Jack Kelso?
He's an insurance investigator over at California Fire and Life. Our paths cross from time to time. For some reason, seeing you makes me think of him.
Has Jack spoken to you about his experiences on Sugarloaf? Or the rest of the campaign?
Hang it right. Jack keeps stum just like you do. I know what it feels like to get back from conflict. You gotta respect that.
Ну, это бяка. Короче, эти застройщики какие-то большие шишки. И очень не хотят, чтобы мы туда лезли. Может быть, нам сейчас придется как-то прекратить расследование. Я думаю, какого-то здесь финала мы сейчас не найдем. Не дойдем. Разве что сейчас, наверное, снова еще раз.
Right up ahead.
Еще раз поймаем этого, которого отпустили. Сусанов тут как-то связан. Да. Что мне кажется, что уже мне понятно, почему тут, возможно, будет. Машина не тормозит вообще. Чего вы тут встали? На светофор. А эти что встали-то? И вообще-то сигналка, парни. Просто. Чего вы встали-то? Типа, зеленый. Я типа никуда не спешу.
Next left. Up ahead, take a right.
Я даже не... Теперь, наверное, отчасти понимаю, почему здесь, наверное, будет плохой конец. Потому что мы все-таки будем лезть в свое дело, и что-то обернется плохо. Это я уже забегаю вперед про финал. Уже думаю. Раз это все одно и то же дело, будет продолжение.
We're looking for Herbert Chapman.
I'm looking for him too. I need him to move his car so I can mow the lawn.
He's definitely not here.
I've been banging on his door off and on for a couple of hours. Yeah, he's out somewhere. Is there some kind of problem?
Let's take a look at the car.
Let's see what he's hauling around.
Листовки эти, которые он разносит.
Definitely gives him opportunity.
Что он точно тут как-то связан. У него целый ящик он этих листовок. Ух ты, пистолетные патроны. Бронебойные даже. Фелп, все, у тебя рука дрожит.
We should revise the APB. He's clearly armed.
Ты что, точно сегодня пьяный, что ли? То падаешь на ровном месте, то у тебя рука трясется. И опять эта хрень, которую мы нашли у прошлого.
Motive, opportunity, and hard evidence.
Что-то он сам дергается, если так посмотреть. Фелпс, ты что? Ну, рановато еще. Ну, короче, вот это та же, которая замедляет пожар, дает время, чтобы тот смылся, а потом возгорание. Так и у того прошлого. Короче, у него вообще полный набор в машине.
There he is. It's Chapman. He's coming out of the laundromat.
О.
Shit. He's seen us.
Cops. Again.
Опа, пистолетик он теперь.
Son of a bitch. He must have caught the trolley. We gotta move fast, Cole.
Трамваи. За трамваем мы еще не охотились.
Car 11K calling KGPL.
И как там остановить трамвай?
11K requesting assistance. In pursuit of suspect aboard the 1110 University streetcar. Currently heading east on Melrose Avenue. Advise all units. Suspect is in control of car and driving dangerously.
Roger, 11K. All units, officers need assistance on Melrose Avenue. The suspect aboard the 1110 University streetcar headed eastbound. Approach with caution. Suspect is in control of the streetcar and driving dangerously. Units take over.
Stay on his ass, Cole. Don't lose him.
Пока надо просто следовать за ним. Как ты вовремя выезжаешь задом? Специально. Куда с этого поворачиваешь? Как тебе повредить? Колесо повреждено. Давай ты стреляй. О.
End of the line, you little prick. Come on, Cole.
Стой, стой, дружок. В смысле? Ни хрена себе.
Looks like we have our man, Cole. Well done.
I'm not so sure. Chapman seemed to have his own agenda. Seems to be more to this than personal.
Ой, что происходит с трамваем? Своей жизнью начал жить. Кто-то его еще угнал. Парни, обернитесь. У вас кто-то еще трамвай украл.
Nice work, gentlemen. Put yourself at considerable risk stopping that trolley and probably saved a lot of lives. Anyone else but you, Phelps, and you'd be up for a bravery award. We've had our eyes on that slippery son of a bitch Chapman for as long as I can remember.
Допросить нам его не удастся. Но это доказывает, что он точно тут как-то связан.
I hope this puts to bed that crazy stuff you had going about Leland Monroe. What were you thinking, Phelps? Be calling Richard Nixon a crook next.
Ну вот, наконец, этому делу.
What is it?
Новая семья, Фелпс,
A
да?
letter from Lou. His insurance policy named me beneficiary.
California Fire and Life. You worked for Elysian?
The roof that he was working on collapsed.
It's a very generous settlement. Elsa, I'd like you to do something for me. I think there's something dirty about Elysian Fields.
What has that got to do with Lou?
I want you to reject this settlement. I want you to go and see an investigator named Jack Kelso and ask him to make some inquiries about Lou's case.
Isn't this police work?
Do you want to find out what happened to Lou?
Why would he help this Kelso?
Jack won't be able to help himself if he smells a rat.
He's a friend of yours?
He hates my guts. Elsa, you could take this money and let them get away with it, or we could get Jack's help and do something about it.
Why not be honest with this man, Cole? He deserves your honesty if you want his help.
Believe me, Elsa, I'd like to level with him. I really would, but it's too late. Years too late.
Все-таки ты живешь у этой бабы, значит. Ну ладно. Какую-то улику я не нашел. Странно. Почему похвально? Я все идеально сделал. Ну ладно, да. Этот Чапман нам ничего не скажет, так как живым он нам не дался. Что, еще одно дело? То это вроде какое-то короткое было. Спичечный домик.
Mr. Kelso?
That's what the sign on the door says, miss.
Mister, a man like you always loses the battle of the
Он за кого-то другого играет.
What the hell? This guy's got a fool. What the hell?
There's no need to come into the office, Miss Lichtman. If you accept the settlement, all you need to do is sign here.
I don't accept the
What do you mean you don't accept? I think you're pushing your luck, lady. This seems to be a ridiculously generous settlement. A $200 policy with a $20,000 payout? You should...
I don't want the money.
What do you mean you don't want the money?
I want you to investigate this case. I feel my friend may have been the victim of foul play.
Okay. Let me get the case file.
There's got to be more in these files.
Sounds like your friend took a hell of a fall. I'm sorry for your loss. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Of course not.
What basis do you have for your claim of foul play?
Lou Buckwalter was a craftsman. I don't believe he would have made a roof that would collapse.
You want me to reopen this case based on your woman's intuition? That isn't going to happen. Take the money.
I've already told you I do not want the money. There's something wrong with that house.
You and Buckwalter weren't married?
No,
Then how did you become his beneficiary?
we were family friends.
Опять взгляд уводит вниз.
You expect me to reopen this case because you come in here walking that walk? Well, I'm not buying it. I think you should tell me what the hell is going on.
You really want to know?
Yes.
We were interned together on Ellis Island. Resident alien Germans whose parents had been killed by Nazis. Do you see the irony in that?
Женщина, ты от меня что-то хочешь, а сама не договариваешь. Как я должен тебе что-то тут делать?
So the roof collapsed. Accidents happen. What exactly are you trying to achieve here, Miss Lichtman?
Exactly what I said. I want that building thoroughly investigated.
I'm intrigued, Miss Lichtman. I really am. But you're going to have to give me something if you want me to get involved in this.
There is a conspiracy surrounding Elysian Fields and the new houses they are building. I believe your insurance company is involved.
That's pretty heady stuff, Miss Lichtman. Flimsy, but heady.
I've told you what I know, Mr. Kelso. What are you going to do about it?
All right, Miss Lichtman. One final question.
Yes.
What's your address?
Is that usual?
Is there anything usual about this case, Miss Lichtman?
The address is on the letter, Mr. Kelso.
The address, not the phone number.
Так, телефончик стреляет. Довольный взял.
Mr. Benson would like to see you in his office, Jack. Upstairs. Come on, I'll walk you up. You coming?
Нет. Дай мне вокруг стола походить. Вообще пока нифига не понял, что происходит.
I don't think you're a fool. But what's my opinion against thousands of
Что вообще
others?
происходит? Кто-то, короче, типа покончил с собой, она думает, что тут что-то не так, поэтому деньги за это брать не хочет, и выяснить, что здесь не так, нет? Окей.
Mr. Benson, you wanted to see me?
Ah, yes, Jack. I'm just trying out a new putter. I noticed Elsa Lichtman in the lobby.
It's the weirdest thing, Mr. Benson.
Call me Curtis, Jack. This is California.
Like I said, Curtis, this is a very strange case.
How so, Jack?
That lady, Elsa Lichtman, is refusing a 20 grand payout.
Elsa Lichtman is hardly a lady, Jack. She's a jazz musician. Plays at the Blue Room in Hollywood. She has a fine pair of lungs, now that I think
She's
of
the
it.
beneficiary of this guy, Lou Buckwalter. He was killed in an industrial accident working for Elysian Fields Developments. You know Elysian?
I'm familiar with Leland Monroe. We move in similar circles.
Well, Miss Lichtman is making some pretty serious accusations. She says the case stinks and that
She's a
something
very
happened.
highly strung girl, Jack. Strung out might be a better way to put it.
It's a pretty generous payment, Curtis. I think I should look into it.
Is there anything wrong with the paperwork, Kelso?
No, there isn't, Mr. Benson.
I didn't think so. Pay the case out and get her off our backs.
I can't make her take the money,
Deal
sir.
with it, Jack. Do your fucking job. Do I have to do everything?
No, sir, you don't.
Fine, Jack. Fine. You know I have the greatest confidence in you.
Thanks, Mr. Benson.
Опять эта фирма замешана, которой Фелпсу нельзя лезть.
Your car, Mr. Kelso.
Thanks, kid.
О, чтобы быстро попасть. Давайте быстро попадем. Видимо, мы просто сейчас взглянем на эту фирму с другой стороны. Посмотрим, что здесь грязные делишки этой фирмы. Да, это так замечательно, когда никто по духам тебе не говорит, куда тебе надо ехать. Не говорит, что я еду медленно, или я быстро, или в кого-то врезаюсь. Или вообще не по делу говорит что-либо. Так сам по себе.
That's not how my pop taught me to mix it. Someone is cutting corners.
Но цемента заказали так, просто ради того, чтобы заказать. Это доказывает и показывает, насколько тут все хорошо строят, новые дома, сокращая стройматериалы. Поэтому он там стены обваливаются. Фрэнк Олман.
Leland Monroe, the man with the grin. Looks like he doesn't like to be disappointed.
Восстановление в сносе.
Bulldozing and starting again.
Hey! You just can't be walking around down here.
I'm Jack Kelso from California Fire and Life.
I don't care if you're from the Vatican. Buzz off.
I'm investigating the accidental death of a Lou Buckwalter, and...
You deaf? Do I have to beat on you?
Looks like you do.
You're a real asshole. You know that?
I came to see the house where Lou Buckwalter died. You were just about to offer to show
О,
me.
это даже шляпа на месте.
It's out the
Вот,
gate,
драться
3
умеет.
houses down on the left. Don't know what you're looking for, smart guy. There's nothing there.
Then I'll poke around in the rubble.
Fine. As long as you're out of my sight.
Ты быстро сдался, давай еще
Go
разок.
sniff around someplace else. Leave me the hell alone.
Сейчас. Сам ты сейчас пойдешь. А куда нам попасть? Куда? Сюда?
I was married by a judge. I should have asked for a jury.
Или куда?
Are you drunk, mister? Or are you just cracked?
Или здесь что-то. Не понимать. Может, мне еще куда-то надо? А, надо ехать туда. Я думаю, где-то тут. Или в смысле? Пока я сейчас разворачиваюсь, это все снесу. Очень далеко ехать. А. Надо было просто чуть дальше посмотреть.
The place falls down and then they bulldoze it. What gives here?
Well, you don't see that every day.
God damn.
I'm out of here.
Wow, that sure looks like a beauty. Wish I could afford that.
Let's try to piece this together.
Just being decisive. Now, I'm not so sure.
That's not right.
Кто сказал, куда, что и куда своей башкой закрывает первую часть, и я типа должен догадаться, что мне надо сделать.
They don't quite fit.
This town's going straight to hell.
Ну, тогда понятно.
Keystone Films. Who gets their lumber from a film studio?
Кинокомпания. Ну, понятно тогда. Что-то тут вообще не то. Так. Не понял. Как я должен в него стрелять, я не понял. Как я должен в него стрелять? Наверное, не тут. Не, в него нельзя останавливаться. И как? Ладно, побежали тогда. Интересно. Побежали тогда. Не понимать, что я должен делать. Ну-ка, еще разок. Мне предлагают пропустить. Я хочу все-таки понять, что от меня хотят. Так, ну я что-то немножко начал понимать, но этого мало. Так, если у меня не будет получаться, когда я пропущу это, я не буду сидеть же мне тут на этом эпизоде полдня. Так страдаться. О! Я попал в него? Серьезно? Вообще наугад. Лол. Я прям снайпер. А кто поставил телефон? Я же его снес тут минуты ранее.
Jack Kelso, California Fire and Life investigator. I need an address on the Keystone Film Company.
The address is 658 North Wilton Place. Is there anything else?
No, thank you, ma'am.
That price is outrageous.
Прям попал. Не знаю как. Ну, поехали на площадку съемочную, где стройматериалы закупали. Это будет забавно.
Hi, Mac. I work for California Fire and Life. I'm looking into an industrial accident.
Here?
No, not here. At a housing development over on Normandy Avenue.
So?
I found some lumber over there, had the Keystone name printed on it.
We've been closed since '41. Never quite made the transition to talkies. The Suburban Redevelopment Fund are pulling the place down.
Know anything about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund?
Nix.
Mind if I take a look around?
I'm kinda hungry. If someone was to leave a couple of bucks here, I might wander down the street and get a cup of coffee.
Is there a key to the gate?
No. The only guys who go in or out are some delivery guys from Elysian Fields. They're working on a housing development over at Wilton and Santa Monica. You'll have to hop it.
Откуп.
In a great day for the future of Los Angeles, civic leaders and businessmen joined forces to
Я
launch
сам
the Suburban
не понял, что мне
Redevelopment
надо
Fund.
делать, ну
The
ладно.
Suburban Redevelopment
Более-менее
Fund pledges to
разобрались.
speed up housing development for returning GI.
Gentlemen, this is Dr. Harlan Fontaine. He's our latest investor in the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. Doctor, this is Curtis Benson. He's Vice President of the California Fire and Life. Pleased to meet you, Doctor. Ray Gordon, editor of the Times. Doctor. District Attorney Donald Sandler and Police Chief Warren.
Gentlemen, I am delighted to be in such exalted company.
You're making quite a name for yourself, Doctor, amongst the thespian fraternity.
I find that those of artistic temperament are often of a fragile mental disposition.
It's a short step from miscreant to recidivism, Doctor.
Very true. But I think we could all agree that the City of Angels does rather well basking in the reflection of the motion picture industry.
Here, here. And it's something that every sucker getting off a train at Union Station wants a part of. Gentlemen, we're here to sell the American dream, and Hollywood is our greatest advertiser.
So, how is your new development selling, Leland?
Cannot throw them up fast enough, Ray.
And that's part of the problem, Leland. Washington is receiving steady complaints. There's a clamor for public housing.
God damn it, Ray. Public housing is tantamount to communism. Now, that's why we fought this goddamn war. I'm telling you, it's Reds via the back door.
You can't have it both ways, Leland. The new freeways are being built to service all your developments out in the boondocks. They're all being built with government money.
The GI Bill is government money.
There's a difference.
What difference?
The GI money ends up in my pocket.
I hope you mean our pockets, Leland. We're all investors.
Of course, Curtis.
So, when will the freeway bond be passed on?
It still has to be ratified. It takes a long time to raise $3 billion.
I need to find a game well or a telephone.
In a great day for the future of Los Angeles, civic leaders and businessmen joined forces to launch the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. The Suburban Redevelopment Fund pledges to speed up housing development for returning GIs.
Gentlemen, this is Dr. Harlan Fontaine. He's our latest investor in the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. Doctor, this is Curtis Benson. He's Vice President of the California Fire and Life.
Pleased to meet you, Doctor.
Ray Gordon, editor of the Times.
Doctor.
District Attorney Donald Sandler and Police Chief Warren.
Gentlemen, I am delighted to be in such exalted company.
You're making quite a name for yourself,
Это,
Doctor,
наверное, оно
amongst
и
the
есть.
thespian fraternity.
I find that those of artistic temperament are often of a fragile mental disposition.
It's a short step from miscreant to recidivism, Doctor.
Very true. But I think we could all agree that the City of Angels does rather
Лошадка. Ну, если тут есть телефон. А, ты просто не мог зайти.
Operator, Los Angeles Police Dispatch, if it's not too much trouble.
Putting you through now.
This is Jack Kelso, investigator for California Fire and Life. Can you put me through to Curtis Benson, please?
Just a moment, please, Mr. Kelso.
Jack, how can I help?
Do you know anything about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund, Mr. Benson?
I've heard of them, Jack. Building new homes for GIs.
With green lumber that was used on movie sets.
Jack, are you working the Buckwalter case?
Mr. Benson, are you part of the Suburban Redevelopment Fund?
Jack, I want you to listen very clearly. Call Miss Lickman. Call her as soon as you hang up. Arrange to see her tonight and get her to agree to the settlement. Do it tonight, do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
End of story, Jack. I don't want to hear another word about Elsa Lichtman or Luke Buckwalter.
Can you put me through to Michigan 221?
Putting the call through.
Hello?
Ms. Lichtman, it's Jack Kelso.
Yes, Mr. Kelso.
I've been looking into your case.
Yes, and what have you found?
It doesn't look good. I need to see you.
Meet me at the Blue Room. I work there tonight. I take a break around 9. I'll be waiting at the stage door. We can talk then. Auf Wiedersehen, Mr. Kelso.
Thanks.
Oh, folks.
I'll make a plea, 'cause baby, you know I'm guilty.
И зачем ты сюда приходил тогда? Что, чтобы просто уйти, помахать и выйти? Опа. Ай-яй-яй.
What were you doing with him?
I was doing what you asked.
I didn't ask you to meet him in an alleyway.
Why do you snarl at me? Your friend came to ask me to accept the insurance.
He's not my friend, Elsa.
I think he's a brave man, and you have placed him in great danger. You've involved him in something, and he has no idea of the risk. Can you live with that, Cole?
Elsa, I need his help, and he hates my guts.
Forget the past, Cole. He deserves a chance to say no. If he helps you, let it be on his terms.
I'll go see him in the morning.
Что ты творишь?
What is the special?
Да, бросил свою жену и детей ради нее. Значит, получается, действительно изменял ей, что ли. По делам его отправили сюда на понижение.
Nice wiring job, fellas. Keep them in the dark. Good thing I'm not thirsty.
You lose something, Mac?
I thought these private eye types were all wise guys with smart mouths.
Looks like the snappy repartee has all dried up.
Get on with it.
What's your hurry, Mac? You got some place to go?
You ever do the cat and mouse routine without a gun in your hand?
Now that's more like it.
Let's put a few gaps in that.
Tough act's easy to play when it's 3-on-1.
Это было интересно.
Don't get impatient now.
Time for you to lose some teeth. Don't worry, buddy. I'll lay you out quick.
I'm about to break your goddamn jaw. You're warned, tough guy. You should learn to take a hint. Get him downstairs and into the trunk.
Ну, блин, я думал, с тремя по очереди надо. Там без палева вылез.
Elsa.
Давайте мне эту машину. Здесь.
Sorry, pal. Desperate times.
В смысле?
Out of my way! I'm in a rush! Please, damn it! I ain't got time for this! Can't you see what's happening? Is that the last of them? What's your problem?
Несложно.
So you're still carrying that Army 45, Cole?
ambulance!
Ну, видимо, я нашел все равно то, что мне нужно было. Ну, ладно. Это дело завершилось еще быстрее, чем прошлое. Ну, что поделаешь, пропустил я где-то 2 штуки.
Satchel charges on the cave entrance from above. Covering fire on weapons team. Look for snipers in the trees. You know the drill. No risks, no heroes, no prisoners.
You want some roast on this one, Sarge?
No, you guys have done enough. Head back to Webb's. We are going to blow every cave we come across. Close them down and move on, people.
Просто военные
I was
друзья.
hoping to get me a samurai sword.
Этот
Skipper
его
says
друг
it's Phelps is
страховой
falling
какой-то
behind again.
агент.
He's got his fire teams checking every
Phelps-
cave.
Phelps
He's lost another
detective.
flamethrower. Wants you to get over there and hurry them along.
Ho, boom. Weapons compass.
Sir.
Sir.
We have a major cave complex in front of us, Hogaboom. I want flamethrowers and BAR teams to clean it out.
Begging your pardon, sir. But if it's a big complex, why don't we bring the Shermans in? They can pour it in there.
We can't wait for tanks to be brought up. I'm already behind.
Then blow the cave. No skin off our nose. Bury them.
We are going in there and clearing them out. We are doing it by the numbers, Sergeant. Get your team in place. We're moving out. Mount up! First fire team and flamethrowers! Head in!
Ну, тогда, когда этот ролик закончится, то туда все. 2 дела есть. Итого 3 дела пройдено.
Where's he going? Where's who going?
Останется еще 3.
The big cowboy.
И финал.
He's going in.
Who gave that order?
You did.
Вежливое приглашение. Это уже потом.